Hi there, Simbi families. Today's story is called Bilby Saves Easter, written by Alyssa Edmonston and pictures by Ron Monier. And something really cool with this story is that on every page there's a little Bilby hiding with an Easter egg. We hope you love it. Sammy Macleay, the sweetest boy in town, was the paper boy in '88 when it all went horribly down. He lived in Western Queensland and still talks about the day when he delivered news that shocked all, including Mrs. Fay. Now, Mrs. Fay was not one you'd readily choose to cross, for she was the mayor and generally an evil small-town boss. Leaving the paper on her doorstep, Sammy sped away and hid. He saw her swiftly open it and just as swiftly flip her lid. She was cranky, oh so very cross. Her eyes flashed red and blue, and before he knew it, she'd ripped the newspaper in two. No Easter, the headlines did shout. Surely it was a misprint by a nasty, unscrupulous lout. But alas, as she squinted and read lines 1, 2 and 3, it looked as if, sadly, it really was to be. Bartholomew B. Bunny said he needed a break. It was Australia's bicentenary and Easter eggs he did not want to make. He would travel to Vegas to catch a Broncos game. Then on to Melbourne to watch similar, but certainly not the same. After years of making chocolate and goodies that are sweet, quite frankly, Bart B. Bunny felt well and truly beat. Bart planned to watch the cricket and see Poms put to the test. Then Logie's, where he'd hoped his Kylie would be voted very best. Bart packed his bags and labelled each. His thoughts were only of Bondi Beach, but it was not to be. Oh dear. I don't think so, Mrs. Fay did bellow, and hightailed her way to see that Bartholomew fellow. Bart heard the racket, and from his burrow he did stumble. His ears slumped with fear, and he could only manage a mumble. Then, out of the mulga, Bilby's voice came. Settle down, lady, you're being a pain. Well, in no way was Mrs. Fay accustomed to this. Her anger erupted, and she started a slow and nasty hiss. But Bilby just ignored all the surplus sound and addressed the crowd that had now gathered around. My helpers and I will do Easter this year. She winked at Bart. Is that okay with you, dear? And with that at once, all her helpers did come. You see, we're prepared. We've already done some. Well, Bart looked so relieved, as he'd been very sick. He'd had a bad cold that he just couldn't lick. With Bilby's mixed chocolate, brown and white. Sometimes their ears entangled the mixer and gave them an awful fright, but it all paid off. It was once again Sammy who delivered the news, but this time 'twas joy and certainly no blues. Bilby Saves Easter, the headline read. Her denial line too claimed it was teamwork instead. Bart was now well and ready to bring the joy of chocolate to all, and to Bilby a ring. It was through Paperboy Sam that final news was told. Easter was great and Bart's Kylie won gold. Epilogue. Betty and Bart were married in August 1988. Betty continues to make and deliver eggs with Bart each year. At Easter, Sammy Macleay now writes the news for a large daily newspaper instead of delivering it, the Daily Egg.